My goodness. Hey everyone, Larry Chen here. We're continuing our 2025 SEMA coverage, but I want to let you folks know that we finally have merch after all these years on camerasandcarculture.com. We have my book, Life at Shutter Speed there. We have diecast, we have pins, prints, but also a bunch of t-shirts, including this one featuring Magnus Walker in the F40. You already know, if you bring your car to the show, I have to feature it. I'm so excited about this. This is a Plymouth you call a GT1.
Right. Yeah, because we wanted to kind of be clear what was under the body. If anyone knows these old cars, 35 Plymouth. But the cool thing about it, I mashed up I had a C5 Corvette race car built in 2004, like a Trans Am style GT1 race car. And that's what we used for the chassis under this. So we cut it apart. We used the front clip, the rear clip, and built everything new in between. That's original paint. The blue, all the patina and everything is original paint. These are original emblems on the car, original trim. So we tried to keep, it's not chopped, it's not cut up. We tried to keep as much of the original 35 Plymouth as possible. And then we modified that chassis to fit inside of this body. And the same thing with the chassis. It's if you look at like these wheel hubs here, those scratches, that was earned on the racetrack. This chassis won 30 races. Dave McIvern won 3 championships, 2008 to 2010, with this chassis.
Okay, it's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Here. So then,
yeah.
Like, where did you get all of this stuff? And where did the idea even come from?
Yeah, so we had a V10 engine built, a Viper V10 engine built by Prefix for a CUDA that we were going to build. And then that project kind of fell through. And so we had this engine that was really cool. I'm a big fan of Vipers, and had this real cool engine, but they're hard to fit, especially in muscle cars or whatnot, because the 10 cylinders, there's an extra cylinder in length. So I was trying to find a car that would fit the V10. And when you get into 30s and 40s, they'll have straight 6s, which is a lot of length. So we went out, we looked at this car, it was just local. We took a tape measure and we measured the engine bay and we're like, I don't know, I think it'll fit. So the whole project was kind of with parts. I already had the race car. I bought the race car just to use as like a weekend track toy, and I never did use it. So it sat on a 2-post lift for years, had flat tires. And so now we had an engine and we had a 35 Plymouth that was in great condition. How do we get a chassis? And I had the idea, we needed something to build at the shop quickly, and had the idea of maybe buying a used car to use as the chassis. And then I thought, what about the race car? Like, why not? I had never driven or used a race car. So actually, funny, I owned that car for years. First time I ever drove it around is as a Plymouth instead of a C5 Corvette.
But it's not actually a C5 Corvette, right?
It was a
tube
full
chassis.
Tube chassis. Riggins Engineering built it in 2004. So it's like full, real race stuff, very hardcore race stuff.
And it was built for like road course stuff?
Yeah. So built for Gary Smith, and I don't know what he did with it, but then Gary sold it pretty quickly to Dave McIvern. Dave McIvern raced it in the Crane Cams V8 Sports Car Series, and he won 30 races, 3 championships with it, and then he sold it, and it changed hands.
But I'm assuming it was in pretty rough shape then?
It was, but everything was there. So we took everything apart, we put new bearings, new seals, and everything. But like if you look at the front brake rotors or the calipers, all this wear and tear, the missing parts, we didn't refinish any of that stuff. I wanted, just like the patina on the body, it's all history. The chassis has a story to tell, and the body has a story to tell.
So then, like, what about this shape? Did you have to redo this shape in order for it to fit the chassis? Is that?
Yeah, exactly. So like all the suspension pickup points, this part of the chassis is C5. And then we had to modify it to fit inside of the Plymouth. But then we had these giant wheels and tires, and I didn't want to go fenderless, which would have been the easy way to go with a hot rod. but I liked the Plymouth that we bought. It had fenders on it, and I wanted to kind of keep that vibe. So we made these custom carbon fenders just to fit over these wide race tires. It actually looked kind of weird without the fenders, looked kind of like it was on roller skates because they're so wide. The front tires are 13 inches wide, the rears are 14. So it's a lot of rubber under there. So you can kind of see like how this fender, they go uphill. It's because of the camber curve built into the suspension. I built the fenders around the tires.
So then, do they take any kind of shape from the original car at all, or did you just?
Yeah, so a lot of the wheel opening itself, front and rear, we had the original fenders, so I mimicked that. But then this shape and the width is from just the mechanics of how the car moves. And then this little curve here was kind of inspired by Vipers with the side pipes.
I love that. This is one of those builds where it's like too much. It's like so much to talk about.
It is.
But of course, we'll hit the major points because honestly, I can pick apart this one piece by one piece. And I know you have a story for every little part on here.
I do, for sure.
What's the actual point of this? Like, is this just to show what's possible?
Everything we build is inspired by racing and some sort of history of racing. But I like to drive my stuff. And if it's only on the racetrack, there's just never enough time. It's hard for me to get weekends and stuff. It's a lot easier for me to drive a car on the street on the weekends. So it's all race car parts. But then we go through like the brake pads on it, even though it's NASCAR brakes, the pads are street compound. So we go through, the shocks are sprung softer than they were on the race car so that it's streetable. So for me, it's just, I'll take it to hot rod shows. I might autocross it on the weekend, you know, go to events like that, but it's meant to be driven.
So then what about the rear fenders? Kind of same thing, otherwise it wouldn't, obviously it wouldn't fit, but this is inspired by the original shape.
Yeah, it's very close to the original shape. They're higher up on the body than they used to be because it used to be body on frame, and now the whole chassis is inside of, it's a full belly pan car, so functional diffuser in the rear.
This is a really neat touch too. It's just like a little modern hit.
Yeah, if you notice, if we look at the other side too, the tailpipe's a little bit shorter. And if you were to look in here at the headers, and you see how they're all balled up in there, the other side is not. So they're equal length but asymmetrical. So the left bank is actually 17 inches longer from the heads to the tailpipe than the right side. And that's because Vipers have this uneven firing order. So it's bop, 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 and that's what gives them their odd sound. This is 17 inches longer on this side, so I'm trying to even that out. So it sounds more like bop, 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 bop. So you can still hear the Viper in it, but it is like a higher pitched, more exotic sound to it. It's just because I geek out over exhaust and I like playing with it and seeing how you can change it.
So then what year Viper engine is this?
This is a 2010. It's a Gen 4. And it's a 9-liter now. It made 803 horsepower on the dyno and 745 foot-pounds.
NA.
So, NA. When it was a race car, it made 800 horsepower, but only made 500 foot-pounds. So we're actually more powerful than the race engine was, but we're on pump gas.
And that's the original race engine, like the Chevy race engine.
Yeah, it was an SP2 in it.
What is original from the Plymouth? So the hood, you sanded it down, or you try to retain as much of the patina as possible?
Yeah, so we just lightly sanded everything. So it was blue paint. The brown that you see is the primer. All the metal on here is original.
Was it a running, driving vehicle, or was it just a shell?
It was complete, but it didn't run or anything, and it hadn't for some time. So this front windshield is all the trim and the seal. That's all original. And if you look inside and if you look at the roof of the thing, that wood on there, they weren't making pieces of metal big enough to do a full roof. So in the early 30s, they had these big holes they would fill with vinyl and wood in order to do that big of a surface area.
So the door handles too, original?
Yeah, original door handles. They lock by pulling up this from the inside. The windows, so we made a door panel.
This is like OEM level stuff you're doing here. Like this is
Appreciate it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It is so good. I have a Lamborghini STO, and it has a carbon door panel, and I was like, I want to do something like that. And this year, we hired on a couple guys, Tim and Will, who are like carbon wizards, and they did all the carbon on this.
So they obviously did it after the cage was done because it literally fits perfect here.
Yeah.
And there's even just like a little cavity just for more clearance for your hand.
Yeah.
This level is unseen. Like this is crazy for a hot rod builder to have. Like this is so cool to see.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
I
love
appreciate that. Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not your thing. It's not like your specialty.
Right.
It's about blending everything together. That's like your specialty.
Right. That's I try to pay, honor the history of the cars. What's special? Like, there's so many cool things about like a car from the 30s. Mm-hmm. Like we've got plexi windows in here now, but if you notice, it comes up and it's got a crack there. And then when you roll the window, it slides forward. So what I was told, and I don't know if it's true, was back in the day that was for you to be able to ash your cigarette. You go to roll down the window, you crack it backwards first, and you can ash your cigarette, right? So it's a cool mechanism, complex mechanism that's inside the door. Keep all that stuff, plexi window.
I just love that you retain that.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Right?
So then, like, what about the fact that it's like a shaved taillight thing going on?
So this was it was a PJ coupe. It was a business coupe, and so this was like your blue collar. It was not an expensive car. It was just made to be transportation. So it only had one taillight.
Oh.
From the factory.
So then you would have to stick your arm out to tell people if you're going right or left.
Yeah, back in the 35, it wasn't mandatory for that stuff. So one taillight, it used to be on the fender. That was a fuel filler hole. The gas tank used to hang way down below the frame. So we had this hole in the body, and I didn't want to weld on the body. I didn't want to ruin the original paint and everything. So that got moved from the fender to the back of the car in order to make it work.
That's so cool.
Cover the hole.
And it does work.
Yeah.
And you put your Ruffian logo on it too.
Yeah, so normally the license plate went up here on a metal bracket, but it's a thin metal bracket, and we were like, it's not gonna survive 100-mile-an-hour winds, right? It was made to do 30 miles an hour tops. So I had a jewelry maker that I work with, Speakeasy Originals, cast that and made it for us. We kind of let it patina so that it kind of blended in with the rest of the car. But rather than have a clear lens where the brake light would shine through to nothing, we just made that little piece.
And is that the original plate?
It is a 35 plate. It wasn't, when I got the car, it had modern California plates on it.
Got it. This is, what a crazy feature here. I kind of can tell what's going on, but I don't actually know.
Where the license plate is now, you can kind of get a sense of what we're doing. Where the license plate had a spare tire mount right there. So there were holes here, which is why we moved the license plate to there. Spare tire was there, a metal cover went over it, and then the spare tire hubcap went on the metal cover. And I liked that shape. And so we didn't have room in the narrow grill for a full-size radiator. So we went rear-mounted radiator with it, but then pay homage to the spare tire there, keep the original Plymouth hubcap, and put it on top of the radiator.
It looks like a wheel. It looks like a carbon fiber wheel with this as the center cap.
Yeah.
But then it also kind of looks like an over-fender thing going on here.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a spoiler just for aggressiveness and racing and stuff. So you can see here, it's a triple pass radiator.
Everything, even the hinges look like an old chain.
Yeah, the hinges are actually NASCAR hood hinges.
Oh, okay.
So they're really lightweight aluminum.
But this, I can't believe how finished this is. It looks so good.
We had to cut out the bottom of this, so this metal is actually new. So this is one of the few places we actually have fake patina on it. You
did a pretty good job to match it.
Appreciate that.
But to me, it's like, who knew this would work?
Right.
The old patina with the dark blue paint, with the rust and also the primer,
Yeah,
along with the carbon fiber, which is so modern and it could be so cheesy very quickly.
totally. Yeah, like we've done carbon before, but this is one of the few cases where where we just wanted to do gloss, and I think it's because all the detail in the patina, and it plays with the detail in the carbon, and it just works together. If we would have done painted those, do you do it just solid blue? Do you do it black? It doesn't, it's hard to, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, the texture I think really adds to it. But the fact that it's brought into here too, amazing. I can see, so then where does it tie in here? Like this is the race car, right? And then it ties into...
Yeah, this is original
Okay.
C5 race car chassis right there.
Got it. I just can't imagine how much work went into just getting all this to match up.
I kept waiting for stuff not to work, you know what I mean? Not to fit. But we kept taking measurements and it kept looking like everything was gonna work. It was one of those projects, honestly, this was an easy, I hate to say that, but it's one of those projects where it's like it wanted to exist. Like everything just worked and matched up and it went fairly easy.
So then, is this a original?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
From one of these wheels?
It was the one that was on the spare.
Oh, it was. Oh.
Yeah, they had a fifth one on the spare. So I've got 4 more from the wheels at the shop. But
so fuel cell.
yeah, just a small fuel cell in there, kind of simple. But there's an electric water pump in there, and then we run the electric water pump like a thermostat would open and close. You turn on and off the water pump to pump water and then give the water some time to cool in the radiator before you cycle it through the block again.
And then this rear diffuser here.
Yeah.
Is that something that you designed or?
Yes. Yeah, and it's fully functional. You can see some of the chassis tie-down straps right there poking through the diffuser.
Yeah.
And this white piece here is straight off the race car, a jack point built into the frame. So we left the scratches and everything from the original race car, let it tell its story, and don't try to hide it or refinish it.
Is that a rain light?
This is a reverse.
Okay.
And then this is a light for the license plate. So again, we didn't want to cut an extra hole in the body, but anything that we added new is fair game,
I seriously cannot believe just the details and the thought put into every little thing. So then what about the wheels?
These are the original race wheels. We got, I believe I had 12 sets of wheels and tires from the race team. And so we took the best centers and the best hoops, and all we did was refinish it. But and these are the lug nuts that were on the car. Those are the lug studs. Like, we tried to keep all of that stuff. We did put brand new rotors on it.
But like little touches like this.
Yeah,
blue.
So the race teams would do that for quickly identifying where the valve stem was.
Is that the extension of the under or the?
That's part of the diffuser. Yeah. So the middle part here, our side skirts and stuff, is aluminum. The back, this stuff from here and the center is aluminum. The back part's carbon. And then in the front, the splitter is ABS, because it's really designed under full braking that would touch the ground on the racetrack to cut off air from under the car. So this is thicker and it's ABS. It's actually a wear piece.
This is the coolest thing. This is the only part that you painted to kind of match.
Because it kind of ties into the roll cage, which we painted.
This feature here, I'm blown away at how well it goes from the Corvette to the Plymouth.
Right.
But then this is new.
Yes.
That is so cool. What is this actually made out of?
That's carbon.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the only color painted carbon panel on the car.
And then you did this just for it to kind of be like a seamless transition.
Yeah. It just felt like the original 35 Plymouth, it actually had a space here and then fenders, and the headlights were here on this spacer. So rather than have the headlights there, we kind of add this little detail that ties into the cage.
And then you move the headlights here.
Yeah, those
to
are
the grill.
Those are Morimoto's, just standalone headlights. So they just run on a 12-volt system, super easy.
And this is the original badge
It
here?
is the original badge. So it's kind of cool. The idea of the name Plymouth came from Plymouth Rock, where the Mayflower came over. So back in the day, they used this sailing ship as like their emblems and stuff.
Oh. I didn't know
Which
that.
is cool. That stuff, I didn't know that either until I got this car. So that's kind of like one of the things that excited me about this car is I was learning more about history.
So then this is all carbon fiber, so you had to remake this
Yeah,
grill?
so this is one of the things we did change. You can kind of see down here. We had to shorten the grill 4 inches. So because the grill was so tall before. So I had to shorten it 4 inches, which meant that we had to completely make a new inside piece. So these are water jet cut carbon bits and then 3D printed aluminum bits. And then I made sure that like the emblem went back in the same place.
So amazing to me, like how also the use of technology, but like this shape was done by hand and for no like real engineering reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
When was this designed? Like 1930,
Yeah.
right? Or early
34,
30s?
32, 33 when they were penning it, probably, yeah.
But after all these years later, you're putting so much effort into keeping that shape,
Yeah.
but also making it functional.
Yeah, and adding to it and playing with it, you know, like this is a very sort of modern, aggressive kind of front fender design, but it goes to show like how kind of swoopy and curvy and cool the cars were back then.
This is so cool. So then how did you come up with this design?
Actually, we did the most concepts for the front fenders because it was actually kind of difficult to do. But the original grill, the original front bumper was in front of the grill and the grill went below it. So it's kind of carrying on that I guess those lines, that horizontal line. And it played with, we just wanted a simple front splitter. So it kind of played with all of that stuff.
It's also cool looking in here, you can see so much, like for
Yeah.
example, the steering components. Is that from the original race car?
Yes, all of the hardware in there is original race car stuff.
It's actually good in that you had a good base to start from
Right.
in terms of like keeping the mechanical aspect.
It was fun for us because it was a complete car and it had been rebuilt and ready for a new season, even though it sat on the shelf for years. So, you know, we knew we had brakes that work, control arms that have good geometry, all of that stuff, and we built this car in 10 months, which was really fast for us considering like the carbon was a learning curve. Somebody put this spotlight on at some point in the car's life. And again, if we would have taken it off, there would be a hole. So we just left it.
I think it's pretty cool. My goodness. Is this part of the original engine?
Yeah, so that's the Viper intake manifold. The Gen 4s had twin throttle bodies. So you can see we're just going straight into a 3D printed air box right there. So it's really, you know, that you can't get much more ram air than that. It's just a big open straight into the wind.
It's amazing to me that you literally use a measuring tape
Right?
with some dimensions in hand.
This is where the original firewall was. So this flange right here is original, but we drilled it and put a new piece of sheet metal in. So this is exactly where the firewall was. We didn't even have to push the firewall back to make it work.
This is absolutely beautiful, the way it all ties in too.
Thank you. Yeah, we took the Viper valve covers, we machined the Viper off, and then I 3D printed Plymouth text, and we TIG welded those back on.
Penske shocks.
Yeah, so they were on the race car, and again, we wanted to keep all that stuff. I did wind up getting new shocks because I talked to Penske, and this car is heavier. It's 400 pounds heavier than the race car was, and we were going to be driving it on the street, so they wanted to revalve them. So these are new. I still have the original race car Penske shocks on the shelf.
What's this panel up here? Is that usually for air?
Yeah, it's usually it was just a fresh air vent, but that's where we put the masters for the clutch and the brakes. We had to put it inside behind the firewall because there just wasn't room here, and we didn't want all that showing anyway. But some cool stuff, like again, we tried to keep everything cool and funky. So
The window opens.
if you want fresh
The
air.
windshield.
Yeah. Little crank on there, still works. We kept the gauges.
This is so cool. The original gauges, I'm assuming they just sit there and look pretty.
They do. The speedometer, I actually took the guts out and put a speed hut, a GPS speedometer in there, and just put the old original needle on there. So the speedometer actually works. And that's where our mileage is getting recorded, which is pretty cool. But the other gauges don't. So everything else is on the AIM digital dash.
I really love where the old stuff stops and then the new stuff like really gets shown off. I'm assuming this is a custom piece that you made.
Yeah, we
just to kind of tie it in.
We wanted to hide the plugs on the back of it as well and kind of make it look clean.
And it goes with the theme of the vehicle. Mm-hmm. The cage work, all of it.
Yeah, so this is original window trim here. Same brown that the interior was. So we went a little lighter with that on the cage, kind of a mocha color.
Wow. Just wow. What about the seats?
These are like McLaren Senna style seats. Carbon back, Competition Carbon makes these.
What is the significance of the 00 and the 3 here?
It's the third car that we've built as a shop. And after we started making some clothing and the serial numbers started to become kind of graphic design elements on the clothing, and we kind of wanted to carry that through on the car.
The shifter is so cool too.
Yeah, that's handmade. A guy that works for me, Jake Palm, he was a knife maker and also loved cars. And so years ago, I started working with him on the shifters for the cars, and then he eventually came to work for us.
What's that blue button there?
It's the battery shut-off switch, kind of race car stuff, a battery isolator. You turn that on first before anything else will power up.
You start it from the middle right there?
Yeah, exactly. You're so far back now in the seat that you can't reach anything on the dash. So all the controls have to be closer to you.
It's all the little details, and I know you're so prideful of every one of them. Like, I know it's fun for you to go and just think about all these little things. Like, I just noticed this O2 sensor.
Right?
It just comes out right here.
Yeah. So we did have to, this is one of the few times we had to change and cut the car. We cut the doors and raised the opening so that we could have side exhaust. So this rocker is new. The door is shortened.
So then this is fake patina too.
Yes.
But you did such a good job to match it. I mean, I wouldn't, honestly,
we only did it where we had to.
Yeah.
But pretty much everything out here.
I can't really tell. So did you have to add any metal anywhere where it was missing metal, or was it pretty good?
No rust. And the dents that are in it, you know?
Whoa, okay. All right, so I see a lot of crazy things, like, for example, you have the sway bar adjuster here.
Right.
On the roof.
Right.
So the cable goes to the suspension.
Yeah, it goes to the end links on the sway bar, and it was straight off the race car. So you were able in the race car to adjust the stiffness of the rear sway bar on the fly, and we just kept that.
And this original, like, chicken wire looking stuff?
Yeah, that's how they used to do the sealing. And actually, this wire that's attached to it was from the radio. They used that as the antenna.
Whoa.
Right? We do the same thing. Whoa.
This is really crazy that, I mean, termites could get to this.
I know, right? It was in such good condition. The courtesy light was here. We had to move it, so we brought it down here.
Does it still work?
It does, yeah. You have to turn the button on.
It's this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Functional visors. You got a little pad here for all these things. Even brake bias is up here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the use of space, because you are out of space down here.
Yes.
Like, this shifter is so cool. It does feel like holding like a nice knife.
Yeah, he does a good job, and that's a carbon material with gold resin mixed in with it.
Amazing. Really good job. I don't even know what else to say. I'm kind of speechless, really. How many miles have you put on it already now?
It's got 90 miles on it now. So enough to where we think we've got all the leaks solved, and we've been adjusting like the water pump to turn on and off and seeing how that affects running temperatures and that sort of thing. So everything's digital now. It's got a PDM, so there's no hard fuses or relays. It's all done digitally with a laptop. So we're able to tune all of that stuff.
So this is your little, kind of like your VIN plate?
Exactly, yeah. So you see it's number 3 chassis.
What ECU is it running?
It's running a standalone Mopar unit. Prefix has their own, they built the engine, they have their own tune for the 9-liter engine, and so they sent us the ECU and we're running that.
I know you haven't had a chance to test everything yet. Mm-hmm. How does it drive so far though?
It's a little bit nervous on the street, and these are legitimate like Trans Am series race slicks. When they say in racing, oh, they're on cold tires, they're not really on cold tires. They're on tires that were on heat warmers, tire warmers. When we're driving this around, it's legit cold tires. It's very slippery. So what we're trying to do right now is source 18s and 19s so we can put street rubber on it. But you can see how deep dish the rear wheels are. It's very difficult to find hoops that will fit that wide. So we're working with a few companies right now trying to source street rubber for it. And once we have that, I think it'll be a lot nicer to drive. But the motor is really rowdy, and it is kind of cammy. Like I've been telling everybody, once you get above 4,000 RPM, it just lights the tires up.
So then what transmission is it running?
It's a TR6060, so just a Viper transmission, but Tick Performance went through and rebuilt it for us, beefed it up.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. It's just, I look at it and I just see the view here. As you mentioned, the Viper,
yeah.
It kind of has that Viper hood scoop or that feature that we love about Vipers, but it's just like a lot smaller and it's lower. I think it's so cool. Just this view is what really sets this build apart. I'm so glad you were able to put this together in just 10 months.
10 months, yeah.
I can't wait to see what you're gonna build next.
I appreciate
Dude,
it.
thank you so much, as always. Appreciate it.